By Jon Craig. Chief Political Correspondent Theresa May has defended her decision to allow Damian Green to stand in for her at Prime Minister's questions while he is accused of UAL harassment and having on his computer. Mr. Green, the Prime Minister's deputy in all but name and Mrs. May's closest ally, faces a torrid half-hour in the House of Commons while she is visiting Middle East countries including Saudi Arabia and Jordan. His appearance at PMQs will infuriate many MPs, since he is battling to save his political career while he sweats on the outcome of a top-level inquiry by his own cabinet office into allegations of impropriety. But, speaking en route to the Middle East, Mrs. May said in response to questions from journalists he is the first Secretary of State. He has deputized for me at Prime Minister's questions before. Obviously consideration is continuing of these issues. But he's first Secretary of State. He has done Prime Minister's questions before and I'm sure he'll do a very good job. Mr. Green's stand-in role is a huge gamble and potential risk for both the PM and himself, since it allows opposition MPs to ask hostile questions under parliamentary privilege about the allegations against him. The Cabinet Office is investigating claims by a female journalist, Kate Maltby, that he behaved inappropriately with her. They are also looking at claims by former Scotland Yard Chief Bob Cook that police found extreme on Mr. Green's parliamentary computer. Video. Green claims completely false. Mr. Green denies both allegations, but two female Conservative MPs, Anna Soubry and Heidi Allen, have said he should have stepped aside from his ministerial role while he is being investigated. The Prime Minister has faced accusations of a cover-up from opposition MPs after Downing Street refused to say when the inquiry would be concluded and suggested the investigation's report would not be published. Ms. Maltby, who at 31 is 30 years younger than Mr. Green, has alleged the first Secretary of State put a fleeting hand against my knee during a meeting in a bar. But friends of Mr. Green sprang to his defense, suggesting that Ms. Maltby, whose parents were at Oxford with Mr. Green, may have mistaken the touch for the flapping of a tablecloth. Mr. Quick, a former Metropolitan Police Assistant Commissioner, has alleged was discovered on Mr. Green's computer during a raid of his office as part of an inquiry into government leaks in 2008, but Mr. Green hit back with a belligerent denial, declaring this story is completely untrue and comes from a tainted and untrustworthy source. I've been aware for some years that the discredited former Assistant Commissioner Bob Quick has tried to cause me political damage by leaking false information about the raid on my parliamentary office. Video. MPs discuss Westminster UAL harassment. Mr. Quick, who quit the Met in 2009, is now threatening to sue Mr. Green over the minister's attack on him. Besides questions about the UAL impropriety allegations, Mr. Green is also likely to be quizzed at PMQs about his offer of Tory funding for a special advisor for the Conservative-supporting Democratic Unionist Party. The proposal was turned down by Sue Gray, the government's head of propriety and ethics, who works in Mr. Green's department and is the civil servant carrying out the investigation into the harassment claims. As well as being a friend of Mrs. May's over 4 decades, Mr. Green is the most powerful minister in the government, sitting on 20 cabinet committees, most of which he chairs. He is also a key player on Brexit strategy. Having lost 2 cabinet ministers in the past month, Sir Michael Fallon and Priti Patel, the PM is desperate not to lose another and be forced into another reshuffle.